Knicks family, what's popping with you? Tough loss. Third game in a row. We haven't been able to score over 90 points, ladies and gentlemen. And I know there's a lot of people that's feeling scary about this team, but I'm holding out hope. I know we haven't scored over 90 points in 3 games, but I'm holding out hope. Because, sooner or later, we're going to get some people back on the bench. And we'll see how that changes the game, if it changes the game at all. The Knicks lose tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to the Charlotte Hornets by 20, 21 points, whatever it is. It's hard for me to believe that this team is 20 points better than us, but they were 20 points better than us tonight. You know what I'm saying? They were 20 points better than us tonight. Taking a look at the box score, ladies and gentlemen, everybody was off. One player shot over 50% from the field. Everybody else was off. No, I'm sorry, 2. Nerlens Noel was 2 for 2. RJ Barrett, he was 5 for 18 from the field. Shot 27.8%. He shot 0 for 5 from the three-point line. He did have 9 rebounds and 5 assists, though, to go along with 11 points. Julius Randle only took 9 shots on tonight. That zone neutralized Julius Randle to do anything offensively as far as scoring is concerned. It neutralized him. He had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, threw the ball away a couple of times on some bad passes. Struggled out there. Mitchell Robinson, he was 5 for 5 from the field. Had 11 rebounds, 12 points, 2 blocks, 2 steals. He played well tonight. Austin Rivers, he got the start over Reggie Bullock, who was out tonight. He was 5 for 12 from the field, 3 for 9 from the three-point line. 3 turnovers. Elfrid Payton, he was 7 for 14 from the field. He had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 15 points. But for the stretches of the game that we needed him to play well, he didn't really play that well. Nobody played well. Emmanuel Quickley, 1 for 10 from the field, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Nerlens Noel, again, he was 2 for 2 from the field. Kevin Knox, he came through big in the first half. We had a hard time finding him in the second half. He was 7 for 17 from the field, had 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, a couple of turnovers. He had 19 points. He led the Knicks with 19 points. The Knicks did have balanced scoring, but just not enough scoring. Got to find somebody who can score the basketball, ladies and gentlemen. If we don't find somebody who can score the basketball, it's going to be a problem. It already is a problem. And for the Charlotte Hornets, they went to work. Gordon Hayward in the first half, he had 28 points in the first half. He ended up with 34 points on the night. And let me change the screen for you so that you can... There we go. I changed the screen so you can take a look at the box score of the Charlotte Hornets too. P.J. Washington faced off against Julius Randle. He had 13 points, 5 rebounds. I basically outplayed Julius Randle too. Bismack Biyombo, he didn't really do much. Terry Rozier had 12 points. Devontae Graham had 19 points and 7 assists. And LaMelo Ball, that kid is a hooper, ladies and gentlemen. And he didn't shoot well from the field, but he's a hooper. He had 14 rebounds. 7 assists, only 8 points, but he's a baller. Miles Bridges had 13 points. The Martin brothers scored a couple of points. But for the most part, the Charlotte Hornets just played great defense. They played that zone. Took us out of anything that we could do. And until we learn how to beat that zone, we will continuously be taken out of anything that we can do offensively. And that's pretty much the story for what it is with the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. We got to find a way. We got to figure out something because the zone is killing us on all fronts. Divine, I'm going to start with you, man. How you feel about tonight? I know you're not feeling good about tonight, but tough, super tough.
Yeah,
talk to me.
Yeah, man. Like I was saying last night, I kind of expected if our shooting continued, we were gonna lose this game. I mean, we just shooting bad, and we don't have the capacity for a roster to stay in these games. Man, them cats getting tired. Man, well, Tibbs got that technical at 80 something. and then Gordon Hayward got them 3 free throws. After that, the game went that way. And I just think right now I'm not making no excuses for him, but if you ain't got enough horses to go to a fight, man, you're gonna get slaughtered. And right now we get slaughtered. We ain't got enough horses in the fight. You know what I mean? We ain't got enough soldiers out there. So when we go to battle, we depleted, man. You know, I think Reggie Bullock injury didn't make it no better. We was already depleted. To add him in there, I was like, man, I'm like, so I was happy with the way Kevin Knox played. That's why I was hoping that they started him tonight. I think they need Kevin Knox length in there. That 3-point shoot, that he gonna give you what Reggie Bullock is not giving you, just that extra height. You know what I mean? I mean, we too small in front, man. Besides Mitchell Robinson, like I was saying, everybody's 6'8", 6'7". I mean, but I think for tonight, Sim, I just think it was pretty much we ain't shooting, man. I think we just bad. Right now, we in a slump, bro. The whole team quickly, one for whatever. RJ did for, it's right now, it's pretty tough. But I'm gonna keep my spirits up, man. I believe when we get full healthy, it'll be a different team people facing. But right now, we just pretty much in the doldrums right now.
Tony?
Yeah, shout out to the chat, shout out to the panel. Yo, Black, it's time. Like I asked when I first came on, is this how it felt like the past 2 games? Because I missed the past 2. But yeah, I'm down about this one, man. Bad shooting. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna get out of it. I'm less confident than I was before because the shooters aren't shooting. Besides Knox, who had a great game, he's gonna have to continue maybe put up his production. I don't know if this is probably not gonna be normal for Julius Randle. It's like probably his worst game of the season. So that's encouraging. But yeah, we gotta get ready for this next one. Yeah. Hopefully Tibbs turns it around.
Yeah, I mean the zone is really what neutralized Julius Randle. That zone neutralized him. You know what I mean? Because there was nothing he could do. You get the ball inside. You see all these men around you. To make the right play, you got to get it out. Try to get the ball moving. So it basically just neutralized anything that he could do. That's why he only took 9 shots tonight. He was neutralized. And the only way
also
the only way
those passes.
Yeah. I mean, the only way to unneutralize him is to knock down those shots because we were getting the open shots, we're getting open looks, but we're not hitting them. It's the only way. That's the only way to unneutralize them is to hit those shots. And then Charlotte also did some full court pressure. Right in the first half. So now the Knicks got to think about that. And you see the full court pressure give us some trouble. Right? Randall throws a lazy pass, they get a steal. So that gave us a little bit of trouble. So the teams are throwing things at the Knicks because I think one thing that they saw is if you play them straight up, they're going to compete with you. If you play them straight up, man to man, they're going to compete with you. So they're throwing different things at them. They're throwing different zone looks. They're throwing full court pressure at them. And what we're finding out is that the Knicks are not ready to handle these different defensive looks. Hopefully they will continue to grow and learn how to handle these defensive looks. But right now, they're not able to handle them. Jarrell, what do you think, man?
I echo the same sentiments. Everybody see what we see. We can't shoot. The people that's hurt right now, Obi, Burks. I mean, Frank is not a scorer, but those 2 right there actually could shoot. Bullock didn't play. He can shoot. Todd will help us on the boards when he get back. So when we get healthy, we will be better. But yeah, we're just not playing well. Everybody see the reasons why.
Let me ask you something. Okay. Are you surprised at all that Tom Thibodeau didn't at least give DSJ a look?
No. I guess simply because I think Sib sees something in DSJ. I don't think he's going to play him. I think DSJ is out. Like you can almost tell it's not a health thing anymore. It's basically that he just doesn't want to play him. It's the same thing with Iggy. Like he's in the Iggy doghouse now. Iggy's not playing because he shouldn't be playing. Jared Harper shouldn't be playing. Like, I understand, like our guys are leading the league in minutes, but who are they supposed to be replacing them in the minutes? I mean, the people that I name is not going to be replacing them in the minutes. They can't play. They're not going to play good minutes.
I mean, I get that, but when your guards, when the guards that you have on the floor are shooting, and I'm going to read this off, right? Looking at our guards. RJ Barrett played small forward tonight, but, you know, he's a guard. 5 for 18. Emmanuel Quickly, 1 for 10. Austin Rivers, 5 for 12. I mean, those are basically the guards that played for us tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4 guards that played for us tonight. We only went 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 deep. Wouldn't you think, you know what, these guys are not getting it done. The only guard that shot over 50% was Elfrid Payton. Right, he shot 50%, 7 for 14. Wouldn't you think that barely, right? He scored a couple of points in down the stretch. Wouldn't you think that he would say, let me just see if I can strike lightning in a bottle. Let me throw Dennis Smith out there. Maybe we get something from him. Maybe he provides something that these guards cannot provide, just to see, because we're getting nothing, literally nothing from our guard play, you know?
The last game he put DSJ in, to me, he looked like he didn't want to play basketball anymore. I didn't like him at all the last game. When he was on the floor, I saw him.
I mean, even though,
what did y'all see, to be honest?
No, I mean, it's not even what I see from him. I mean, he did throw him in. It was, you know, it was garbage time with about 5 minutes left. Yeah. But I'm just saying, at this point right now, you got 8 players. Nerlens Noel played 14 minutes. Everybody else played over 25 minutes, right? You have 8 players. I mean, I know. Let me ask you. I mean, guys are a little bit. Some of these guys got to be a little bit tired. Julius Randle played maybe a season low, 30 points, right? RJ Barrett still played 34 minutes. Peyton played 30. Quickly played 28. Austin Rivers played 37, right? Mitch played 33, but we're talking about Barrett, Peyton, Quickly, and Rivers. All of these guys, except for Quickly, last night too. And they played last night. All of those guys, except for Quickly, played over 30 minutes. I would think that he would say, you know, let me just throw him out there for a bit. Go ahead, Steph.
Okay, Steph.
No, I think Kev.
Oh, it was Kev? Oh, my bad.
Kev,
go ahead,
was that Kev wanted to say something? Yeah, I think that was Kev.
Go ahead, Kev.
No, I was just going to ask about DSJ. Now, we saw him in the preseason play, I think, 2 or 3 games. I'm going to go on and perhaps say 2. Did he get into the first game with Indiana? Did he get into any game with Indiana?
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember.
All right, so let's go on a limb and say he didn't. I think, and this is my opinion, I think that Tibbs has seen enough from the preseason that what he wants to try and do with this team and with DSJ, that he probably just can't get it done. I mean, that's the only thing I could come up with. And for him to get, you know, garbage minutes, you know, yesterday, I don't know. I mean, what you say, Sim, is correct. Why isn't he getting out there?
But I agree with you, Kev. He had ample opportunity in preseason. Like, he played so much in preseason, I thought he was going to start. I was like, wow, he's getting a lot of time. But I think he was getting a lot of time because Tibbs wanted to see, you know, give him every opportunity.
Opportunity. And I just with him too.
Right. But I think with DSJ, I don't think he's a point guard. He was so methodical. Like, there was nothing natural about how he played the position in preseason. And I think from there, Tibbs just said, nah, he's not for that position. Though, that being said, Sam, I agree with you. He's not that much of a liability given what we saw tonight. And I think coming off a back-to-back, he could have got some minutes to give some people some rest.
I would have loved to have seen him go up against Rozier. That would have been a nice, you know,
defensively, he's all right. So, yeah. I mean, he's been playing well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But offensively and running the team, It's
Right.
another story.
Why not Harper then?
Right, well, that's another guy.
Why not Harper
agree
then?
with that too.
I mean,
We
yeah.
didn't-
I mean, that's true. He could have thrown Harper out there too. Either one of them. I mean, you know, he hasn't really used Harper at all for anything. And you know, I don't know.
And
I don't know. Let me go to Knot. Knot,
Yo,
what's your thoughts on tonight's game, man?
DSJ or you talking? 3 games losing streak, man. Not too proud of them. You know what I'm saying? It's getting sickening already, man. We're going against some young, tough point guards. You know, OKC, Charlotte, and I believe it was Denver. They had 3 good point guards, man, and they outbeat us. They should try to come back in the next game and try to make the best effort they could. But I thought we solved the point guard issue, you know, a few games ago with Austin and Quickly and Payton. They was giving us hope, man, and they're not looking too good, man. The last 3 games, our point guards, man, and it all falls on them. It's a point guard league. You know what I mean? They're the leaders. They're the ones that set us up to win. And the last 3 games, they're not performing, man. And they gotta figure something out.
Just came on.
Yeah, I'm with you, Josh.
Another tough game. Basically, it's been the story of the Knicks. You know, we lack talent at the guard and wing position, and we are getting beat every single night at the guard position. RJ Barrett is RJ Barrett. I might even gonna go down that little wormhole again. But even if you bring Jared Harper in or DSJ or Frank, those guys don't improve the point guard position at all, or the guard position for that matter. They don't move the needle. This team needed to make a move for a guard in the offseason, and they didn't do that. They went on what they had. And early on, they were playing good, but now we see with the lack of talent. The lack of talent is starting to show. So at this point, we just have to live with who we have. A positive from tonight's game, I like the minute disparity. Guys were playing, you know, they weren't going too crazy with the minutes. And Kevin Knox, you see what happens when you give Kevin Knox some minutes, upwards to 30 minutes a game, and he led the team in scoring tonight and was pretty efficient from the field. I think 50% from 3-point range and a little bit like 40-something% from the field overall. So give Knox some more minutes. He can definitely play in this starting lineup. I mean, give him 30 minutes a game and we see what he can do. His ability to stretch the floor. The Knicks need shooting against the zone, and Kevin Knox can be able to knock those shots down. No matter how you want to do it. You can put Kevin Knox in there with RJ or take RJ out. But I'm not going to go there again. And I just think tonight overall, we need to put – I mean, yeah, I mean, you're right.
I'm saying the proof is in the pudding, but
I think tonight was probably the worst defensive game. I think tonight was probably the worst defensive game the Knicks have played under Tom Thibodeau. It was pretty bad defensively, and with the Knicks being limited in scoring, they can't afford to have games like this where they have these lapses defensively. So
exactly,
story of the Knicks: lack of talent and at the guard and wing position, and a terrible defensive game. And Randall didn't score that much, so.
But yeah. I'm wondering what is Tibbs doing as far as, you know, what's his game plan for attacking the zone? Like, I just don't see it. You know, we getting the shots on the outside. I mean, they play in the zone. That's the reason why they do it. Packing it in, giving us the 3 because they know we can't hit it. I thought there were some times, though, where that middle was open. A few times, maybe in the fourth quarter, I thought Randall flashed in there more than in the first 3 quarters. But what's the game plan? Like, I don't see any adjustments from game to game in terms of attacking the zone.
Right. I think they're too passive. You know, because right, even tonight they had a couple of passes in that paint, but I just think them cats on that outside, what they call the zone buses. You need somebody who say, okay, when I throw that ball in, they collapse. This cat got to hit that 3. We just say shooting that 3 ball, and to the point where DSJ and think about DSJ and who else and RJ Barrett right now. Frank shooting better than them right now, and Burke shooting better than both of them. I just think we missing them 3 ball not percentage shooters. They just ain't knocking nothing down, and I think that just is a big detriment to the team because if your offense is sloppy, you're going to get tired of defense because you always got to compete to fight to try to get back in the game that you just wearing everybody out. So when your offense sucks, your defense is a wrap. You know what I mean? Because they getting tired trying to get back. They down 10. They trying to run to get back in the game. They getting tired in our defense. I just
just wrote that down. I just wrote that down. Zone busters in my notes.
But I'm gonna tell you what. We missed Reggie Bullock tonight. As much as I smacked Reggie Bullock around, we missed him tonight because you're seeing Gordon Hayward. He would have been guarding Gordon Hayward, and all those backdoor cuts that he was getting on R.J. Barrett and Austin Rivers, he wouldn't have got those on Reggie Bullock. You know what I'm saying? We missed some of the toughness that Reggie Bullock brings to the game, and you could see it.
Right.
And you could see it. And then some of the things that they do when Charlotte did go man, a lot of times you see Julius Randle hand the ball off to Reggie Bullock, and then Reggie Bullock is able to penetrate in that foul line area and get that little pull-up shot off of Randle's screen. And we were missing that. We got none of those little shots in there. I mean, we for the most part hung out on the perimeter. So we definitely missed what Reggie Bullock brings to the game tonight. So if there was any question, I'm gonna just stop questioning it for real, because I could see the hole defensively where we missed Reggie Bullock. Some of the rebounding, just the way that he can muck up the game a little bit. We missed it, and we missed his toughness a little out there tonight. Because we didn't have any toughness. And I felt like Charlotte. I felt like they embarrassed us.
Perimeter. Our passing on the perimeter wasn't crisp.
Right.
Everybody was fumbling the balls, which made us reset our whole offense.
Yep.
Shot clock was winding down. That's so important. Like, we were making the right pass, but the pass wasn't a crisp pass, which made the defense collapse.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And when we did get the ball in the middle, whoever got it in the middle would just pass it back out to the wing instead of turning around and facing the basket and seeing what you can get in the key. They would just catch it and pass it right back out to the wing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to Josh's point about the point guards, he may be flawed offensively, but I'm telling you, Frank would have gotten Graham's and he would have gotten their tails. I'm sorry.
Serious.
I mean,
missing that.
I mean,
man.
he would probably hit a three here and there, but he would have got after it defensively against Graham and Rozier and who else was it?
LaMelo too.
Yeah, LaMelo as well. I think this is where you're missing, Frank, for all the crap that Frank gets, for his offensive game. Defensively, that's one thing you can hang your hat on.
Yeah, Prince.
I just think the biggest problem is offense. I mean, the defensively, we'll have our lapses here and there, but we need to score. that's the biggest problem on the team right now.
But you also got to stop.
How much they scored? 101.
101.
The
Like I
Knicks?
said, they're three.
No, they scored 109. They scored
we scored
109. We
88.
scored 88.
109. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need scoring, Josh, but you also need some defensive stoppers as well, too.
Yeah. Go ahead, Prince.
Agreed.
Well, bigger than anything tonight, Sam. Like I said in our post game, man. And this is something, and I don't even want to start jumping on Josh bandwagon like this, but I gotta, swing this flag, man, because again, it won't happen this year, it won't happen next game. We just need better guards. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, when you look in the covers, like I said earlier, and you got nothing, like, that's why Tom Thibodeau ain't playing them dudes. Like you got a whole bunch of redundancies, and you know what I'm saying? So again, until we get the guys that we know are going to help us win games, that's Burks, that's Obi, that's Frank, you know what I'm saying? Until them three guys come back, we are, definitely bare cupboards. But again, for the future, man, we gotta get more athletic, more quicker, more everything. Because again, every team has guards like this. We're the only team with slow, lackadaisical, no pace, no athleticism having guards. Like, we have to do something. And you know what I'm saying? This is where I really started kicking myself, because I wish we'd have kept that extra pick this year. Like, we need talent. And a younger guy, yeah, he may not have been great, but again, if you brought in Halliburton the way he's playing, or you brought in one of them other, wings to help,
Maxey.
Like we right now, we need help, man. And this, honestly, that's the only thing that I could equate to this game, is that the guys play hard. We don't have efficient shooters right now. RJ's still playing like crap.
The thing about us is we have such a low margin of error on this team, right? And when you have a low margin of error, it's hard to sustain when you have so many injuries. We literally need, and somebody in the chat just said it earlier, I forgot who it was, but we literally need all of our pieces to be successful. All of our pieces there to be successful. Reggie Bullock, Alec Burks, Obi Toppin. Like, we need every single piece to play well. And right now, we are missing a lot of pieces. And the guys that's out there on the floor, 8 guys playing 30 minutes, that's a lot of minutes on a back-to-back. After they flew from New York to Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? And that was, I was talking to Tony before the stream even started. That's why sometimes I hate back-to-backs, because you don't get a chance to wash it off. So if you lost or you got blown out, you don't get a chance to let it go, right? I mean, think about it. Right after the game, they hit the showers. They probably got on a plane, came to Charlotte, flew to Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? And got to get up in the morning, shoot around, ready to go for the next game. And you don't get a chance to, like, okay, let it rest with me. What happened? Let it go, and then mentally prepare for the next game. You got to turn right back around. And right from the beginning of the game, you can see they were still stuck in some of that same stuff from Denver. Right? They got it, they shook it off a little bit. Had a little run in the second quarter, took the lead, lost the lead. Really basically took the lead because Kevin Knox got hot, if you think about it. It really came down to that. Kevin Knox got hot, and we took the lead. In the second half, when there wasn't really going to Kevin Knox like that, or when he did take a couple of shots and he didn't hit them, we had nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a chance to wash it off, but that's what happens when you play in the NBA, right? You got to be ready. You got to be ready to turn around and still be strong, man. And
especially this season.
Real quick, Sim, just I'm sorry to cut you off, Steph, but I just what I'm saying, and I don't want to start bashing Tibbs either, but I ain't gonna front. It crept in the back of my mind because, like you said, second half, Knox was hot, and we don't go, not necessarily go back to him, but like we said, find him an easy bucket. Like, just call his number and get him a curl where he can get an easy bucket, so that even if that's his heat check. He don't need to shoot a contested or open three. You make sure his heat is his fire is burning by calling his number. And that's my thing, where now I'm like, okay, Tom, I know the first 10 games we said we really wasn't going to hold your feet to the fire because you had to see what you got. But now, after this long, you got to have a couple sets for Knox. You got to have a couple sets for RJ. You got to have a couple sets for Elfrid. Like, as a coach, you have to. Like, I can't sit here and believe a veteran coach like Tibbs don't have plays and flexes so that he can call and get these guys a bucket. So that's the thing. I don't think
he had any sets for Knox anyway, because this is the first game. Knox played almost 30 minutes a game. Knox wasn't playing that many.
Even worse. My thing is, what I'm saying? But again, if Knox is your best, I wouldn't say best three-point shooter, or one of the best three-point shooters we have this year, why, like you said, you need to find a way to get him going. Like, even if it's just 3 plays. All right, we got these 3 plays we put in for Knox that I know I can get him a wide open dunk. I can get him a curl, floater or something to the basket, and we could get him a wide open three coming off something like a Rip Hamilton curl or something, catching the three,
right.
Shooting the three. So those are three basic plays that you can set up so that you can call if okay, Knox is cold or Knox is hot, RJ is cold or RJ is hot, to call that set for RJ to get an easy, and Sim called that early in the post game too. Call a set for them to get an easy bucket, like a pinch down, a pin down or something, so that this guy is open, catch the ball, dunk it, score it. Now you feel better about your game. Now we might get something rolling. Right. But like Steph said earlier, we have to do a better job. Tibbs has to do a better job getting them ready offensively, because we're starting to look bad offensively.
Well, here's the other thing, Prince. Here's the other thing. Okay, you don't start him, tonight. You don't start him. He should have been out there at the start of the third quarter.
That's what I would have did. That's what I would have did.
Yeah, he should have been out there at the start of the third quarter. Yep. You see how you see how he's shooting. You saw how he was shooting, and that's what you need. And right now, he's our most reliable, shooter from three.
You know how big that was. You know how big that was. Cause think about this here. Knox got cold because they didn't get him the ball after the second half when he came in. Yeah. He got cold because they didn't go to him. When somebody's shooting like the way Knox was shooting, you got to keep feeding the beast, man. They went away from Knox from the whole third quarter. I'm like, what the world is going on, bro? He was.
Was he hot in the third quarter or in the first half?
In the first half. In the first half, he was hot. In the second quarter, he was hot. And then they went to halftime. Right. I mean, halftime is 15 minutes. That's going to cool you down anyway.
Cool you off, right?
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He was hot in the second half, in the first half. So there's no saying he was gonna come out in the second quarter, in the third quarter, and still be hot. You know what I mean? You just sat for 15 minutes. But to what Prince was saying about setting up some plays in the midst of the game. So when I was talking about setting up some plays, I was talking about doing it for RJ right from the beginning of the game. Right, try to get them going. But during the midst of the game, they keep throwing zone at you. There's not much you can do to set up something for one specific player when you're getting this zone thrown at you the entire game. It makes it tough. It makes it tough. Right now the Knicks are just not able to respond to that zone, and it's killing them.
Yeah. And RJ got good shots too. He got shots going to the basket, and he made 2 in a row. I thought he would get going after then, but he did not. And a few even before those, he got to the basket and he missed a shot. Layups.
The ball movement wasn't there, to work against the zone either. What you just talked about earlier, Sim, about how to handle the zone. I don't think they did none of that tonight.
No, they did not really. They did some of it, right? Because they're getting some open shots. They're not hitting those shots. They took more shots. They took about 10 more shots than Charlotte tonight. Right? The Knicks took 87 shots. Charlotte took 78 shots. Right? They're getting.
How many of those shots was threes though?
37.
Exactly.
Because I think they know that we can't shoot the threes, so they've given us that shot.
Right. The Knicks took 37 threes tonight. The Knicks usually average about 28, I think. They took 37 threes tonight, 12 of them by Knox. Knox took 12 threes. Austin Rivers took 9 threes. Quickly was 0 for 6. Elfrid Payton was 1 for 3. RJ Barrett was 0 for 5. Julius Randle was 0 for 2 from the 3-point line. Most of those made were from Kevin Knox and Austin Rivers.
Another thing about Quickly, you mentioned Quickly. Quickly does not look confident shooting right now. He does not at all.
Brick City.
Well,
he does not.
I mean, it is, but the one thing, and I said the same thing about Obi Toppin, right? Quickly hasn't been hitting the three really all season long. He came in with the reputation as being a 3-point shooter, but he hasn't been hitting it. And part of the reason why with a rookie, I think eventually he's going to be a good 3-point shooter. I think he's confident from that range, but you got to get used to the length and the speed that's coming out you to close out. Right? It's way different than it is when it's in college. Same thing with Obi. You got to get used to that length and speed when people are closing out at you. and then being able to shoot and make the three under a different speed of play. Right, when you talk to Quickly,
So in
one
other
of the
words,
big things that he said about the difference between the NBA and college is the speed. Right, he underestimated the speed of the game. You know what I mean? Because and that speed will make you release the shot just a little bit quicker. Right, you now you got to do everything at a, your mind has to think quicker than you did when you were in college.
Right.
So. Once he gets used to the speed of the game, he'll probably start knocking that shot down consistently.
Yeah, he will. He will.
Yeah.
I think a popular thing tonight, Sim. Man, did you see Mitchell Robinson and Kevin Knox on a fast break with Alpha Payton? Like I was saying last night, they got to do that, man. I mean, Mitchell Robinson got on a fast break through that finger roll. Kevin Knox, Alpha Payton pushing that pace up. They were like most popular things. I think like with Nick finally trying to get that ball and run up the court to get some easy buckets. I was like, they do a couple.
Well, yeah, because they got some steals and they got some turnovers that led to fast breaks.
Right, exactly.
And while the Knicks played decent, they didn't play good defense tonight, but they normally play decent defense. They don't normally get steals. All right, so looking at the numbers between the two teams, and we'll go ahead and break this down as soon as I get it up on my screen. Got to get up there again. If you're just joining us, you probably know already. The Knicks lost to the Hornets 109-88. Again, could not score over 90 points in this game. Comparison.
Let me ask the panel.
One second. Team comparison. The Knicks grabbed 49 rebounds, so they did out-rebound the Charlotte Hornets. But it didn't amount to anything, even though they out-rebound them. Didn't amount to anything. The Knicks only 20 assists. The Charlotte Hornets stay on their average and get 28 assists on the night. The Knicks 6 steals, the Hornets 8. The Knicks 6 blocks, the Hornets 8. The Knicks had 16 turnovers. The Charlotte Hornets only had 10 turnovers on the night. The Knicks shot 39.1% from the field. They shot 24.3% from 3. And they shot 64% from the free throw line. And the Charlotte Hornets shot 48% from the field, 40% from 3, and 87% from the free throw line. The Knicks had 12 fast break points tonight, though. Charlotte only 7. The Knicks had 20 second chance points. They scored 48 points in the paint. You look at those numbers, you would think, right? The Knicks probably, maybe they pulled it out. No. Mm-hmm. You look at those numbers, you would think that, but with the poultry three-point shooting, was nothing they could do. Go ahead, Kev. You were going to ask a question.
Could anybody tonight put a body on Gordon Hayward? I mean,
definitely not RJ.
It was supposed to be RJ.
Definitely not him.
Yeah, I mean, it was like he could do anything he wanted to on the floor.
Yeah,
literally.
I mean, that was one area where we really missed Reggie Bullock. We really missed Reggie Bullock because he would have played better defense on. He would have played better defense on Gordon Hayward. All those backdoor cuts. Gordon Hayward is not. He's not a 28 points and a half player. Like that. He's good. You know what I'm saying, but. It's no. I mean, he was getting all these backdoor cuts, leaking out on fast breaks. All kinds of stuff, and it was like, come on, man. The defense was ridiculous. It was terrible tonight.
All around.
The defense was just straight up terrible tonight. What?
I felt bad for Mitch because
he played his heart out, man.
He played his heart out, and there were a couple times where you thought that it was going to get smacked, and Graham and Rozier were able to get it, over his fingers and everything.
They can't stay in front of them guards. That's the problem. Our guard can't keep them cats in front of them. As soon as they blow past them, you have to mix to bail you out all the time. Y'all guys got to keep them cats in front of them. They be getting past them guards, and then you put Mitch in no man's land. You're gonna wear him out, man.
Well,
so
part of the guards getting beat is also ball movement, right? You set a screen on one side. You do a screen and roll on one side of the floor. And the big man has to help out, and then the guard gets back, and then the ball gets swung, right? And everybody's doing some help side defense, and they scramble to their man, and then when it gets to another guard, and that guard is scrambling to get back, and he blows past him because he's scrambling to get back to make sure he doesn't shoot it. So if you can stop that screen and roll, if you can really shut down that screen and roll, the guards fight over that screen a little bit tougher instead of having your big man have to help out. Because once that big man helps out and the guard isn't there, you create a scramble. And we help out all the time. And we create a scramble. Yeah. Now we're scrambling, trying to cover our rotations, and then it allows for guards to be able to penetrate to the basket. Now, tonight, though, while we did have guards penetrate on us, we got caught more on the back door because we had guys ball watching. Instead of seeing our man and seeing the ball, we're ball watching, right? We got our head towards the ball and our back towards the guy we're defending, and the guy we're defending runs right behind us, and we don't even see it until the last second, and then they get a layup. You know what I mean? And those are simple things right there, ball watching. Understanding you got to see your ball and the man. You learn that in elementary school. You know what I'm saying? Yep. See the ball, see the man. Tough loss, man. Tough loss. I'm glad we get a day. And I seen, who was it, Rafael Vargas or something like that out here said, so now we lost. He said, now we lost because it was a back-to-back. That's not what I was saying. What I was saying is it doesn't help you because it's on a back-to-back. It doesn't help you. You don't get a chance to shake it off, right? We get a day between now and playing Brooklyn. All right, we play Brooklyn on we play Brooklyn on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I think Brooklyn is also 5-6. Yeah, the 13th. I think Brooklyn is also 5-6 on the season, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Yeah, they are.
They could score the basketball though.
No doubt.
Right, they can score the basketball, and who knows if Kyrie is going to decide to play or not. Right, he may decide to play the basketball game. I'm going to start with you, Divine. Two-part question. One, if you're Tom Thibodeau, what are you saying to the Knicks in the locker room? And then two, what's your thoughts on Brooklyn?
Number one, with Tom Thibodeau. For us, Tom Thibodeau, I mean, he went on court like if you lie in your bed, you lie in your bed, you make it, whatever, and people don't. I guess the reason why he keep playing them dudes because he like y'all stinking up the joint, you better fix it. That's the type of old school coach he is. If you got that F on your report card, you better work out and get an A. That's on you. So I think he don't want. I think he don't want to take them cats out while they losing because that might make them feel like you know what. Oh, it's okay to lose. No, y'all in there losing. Get your together. Y'all got to get out of this. You know what I mean? And I think that's the way type of coach that he is. He's so old school. He's like our parents almost when it comes to these cats. You know what I mean? You better fix your problem. You know what I mean? I'm not taking you out because you're getting spanked. Then that's not fair. That's not the type of culture he want to set. The reason why you getting spanked because you put yourself in this situation. The Knicks players got to get themselves out of there. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna lose a lot of faith. I just think it's straight shooting. I mean, that's the problem. If you look at all the games the Knicks won this year, good shooting percentage. All the games they ain't playing, they ain't winning, they ain't shooting. So, I mean, I think other than that, but as far as Brooklyn, right now, until we get healthy and we shooting, and the way our offense is sputtering right now, I ain't gonna front. I think we'll take an L because we not shooting. Because if you can't hit no shots, you ain't gonna win no games, man. And I just think that's the way it is right now. But I'm gonna still keep my faith. I think if our defense can, just keep playing, we get a couple of bodies back. I think it'll all change and turn around. But it's kind of disappointing because we've been playing so good the first so many games that these injuries just start catching up to us. Julius Randle tonight, that was the reason why he played like that. Julius Randle was tired, bro. Can't take it. That boy put out a lot of energy every night going up against them taller bodies with all that muscle gain. He just worn out tonight. He's like, man, we played a back-to-back last night. I'm going up against, Jokic and Millsaps and come in tonight. He ain't had nothing left. So I just think they getting tired because I think our shooting is pretty tough and we injured. But I think we're gonna be fine. Before the Brooklyn game, we just gotta we gotta keep playing D and hopefully they go cold. That's the only thing I can see until somebody start hitting some shots, basically.
All right. Tony, same two questions, man.
Sorry, repeat the questions though.
The first one is, if you're Tom Thibodeau, what are you telling the guys in the locker room tonight? And, you know, what's your outlook? What do you see against Brooklyn? How you feeling about that?
Number one is probably keep shooting, because you're gonna have to. But like I said earlier, the execution of the pass, it has to be crisp. It has to be good, clean passes, and then that'll help the looks. Brooklyn, I'm not doing a prediction. I'll tell you that. I'm not doing no more predictions.
I feel you on that. I feel you.
I just hope we can hit some shots, man. Because our defense throughout the 11 games now has been pretty good. You know, a couple lapses, but we got to make shots. Like Devon said, when we make shots, we win games. When we don't make shots, it's tough. So we got to hit some shots.
Yeah. Jarrell, same question, man. And then I got something else.
I'm kind of want to echo what Devon said about Tibbs. I think he's going to tell everybody to look at themselves in the mirror. Open shots need to be hit, obviously. Mm-hmm. I think shooting is our problem, just like Devon said. When it comes to the Nets, I mean, their guards are going to be a problem. If Kyrie plays, obviously he's Kyrie, but Karis LeVert is going to be a problem also.
Oh, yeah.
Like if Gordon Hayward is giving our guards problems and our wing players problems, Karis LeVert going to kill us. We got to do something with that. RJ got to step up, period. He has to play better on both sides of the ball. It's not just offense now. Like he's not playing defense either. So he just got to step up.
Yeah. It does feel like he's beginning to let his offense dictate what he's doing on the defensive side of the floor.
Right.
You know, hopefully this is, you know, a one-off night for him where, you know, with what Gordon Hayward was doing, because, you know, it wasn't just Gordon Hayward. It happened with some other players, you know what I mean?
Right.
So hopefully it's a one-off for RJ. Now, Austin Rivers, this is what Austin Rivers said in his post-game press conference. He said, you got to ask yourself as a Knicks fan, or if you're covering us, would you take a 5-6 start considering we had one of the toughest schedules in the league? Everybody just take a deep breath. We got a lot of games left. We'll be okay. Stephanie, what do you think about that statement from Austin Rivers?
I mean, I think it's okay. I mean, he's taken an overall perspective and not focusing on what's been happening the last few games, which is they're not hitting shots and executing against the zone. So, I mean, I think he's right. If you look at the big picture, looking at our schedule coming in, like I said in the pregame, if we said, given our schedule, we're going to be 5-5 or 5-6, I think we would have took it.
Okay. All right. Not, I'm coming to you. Not, I'm coming to you. You broke up a little. You broke up some, Stephanie. Let me get to Not. Go ahead, Not.
Well, as a Knicks fan, you know what I'm saying, I want to win championships. So I wanted to be 10-0. 5-6, I take that record. You know, yeah, we had a tough schedule. Some guys showed up. Some of the young guys
and like Tony said earlier.
Go ahead, Nat. Go ahead, Nat.
Some of the young guys showed up. We got to see some of the, you know, we were introduced too quickly. We're missing Toppin. So a 5-6 record, you know, is better than 2-8. You know what I mean? 2-9. You know, we ain't expect to be winning. You know, we got on a little 3-game winning streak. We all got ahead of ourselves. You know, we was popping champagne, smoking cigars. You know what I mean? Right now, we just, you know, we leveling down. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I want to win a game. You know, I want to beat Brooklyn now. You know what I'm saying? Just to get out of this 3-game losing skid. You know,
Yeah.
I want to. You know, that's our rivalry. That's our river rivalry right now. City rivalry, man. We can't. I ain't trying to continue losing.
Nah,
You
I
know?
feel you. All right, Josh. Any thoughts on that statement?
I love it. I mean, it's, that's really good veteran presence that you have in your locker room right there in Austin Rivers. The Knicks really lucked out by getting him, not just for what he does, on the court with his shooting performances sometimes, but to say a statement like that in the back and to show that you have your team's back, I think that's really good. And he's right, quite frankly. I didn't expect the Knicks to be 5-6 after 11 games. I expected it to be way worse. So I think Austin Rivers is right, and we do got to give these guys time to come into their own. There is still a lack of talent on this team. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, 5-6, almost a 500 record. I think in the Eastern Conference that gets you to the playoffs. So if they can maintain this level of play, if they can just even it out consistently, I feel like a 500 record can get them in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. So I'm not really tripping about it.
All right. So well, let me ask you this. I'm gonna let you answer it. Then I'm gonna come to Prince. So he said, and I'm gonna bring it up again, just so I make sure I get it right. He said, you got to ask yourself as a Knicks fans, or if you're covering us, would you take a 5-6 start considering we had one of the toughest schedules in the league? Everybody just take a deep breath. We got a lot of games left. We'll be okay. Does the because people say that a lot of times, right? It could have been 30 games. And if the Knicks are 15-15, people will be like, oh, well, we lost 3 we just went on a 5-game losing streak. Your expectations are that, we wouldn't have been this good. But doesn't expectations change once you see what's actually out there on the floor? Right?
No.
Like, they don't?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Not with this Knicks team.
But they changed the opposite way. They changed the opposite way. Like, let's say the Knicks were expected to win 50, and then they came out and they were looking like garbage. People would change their expectations, say, oh, maybe they're not as good. So how come expectations don't change if they come out and they show and prove that they can play at a certain level, that you don't say, well, maybe I need to change my expectations a little bit?
Sam, I think it's levels to it. Like, and as far as the Knicks are concerned, the Knicks were not expected to be a playoff team. And I think when you're not expected to be a playoff team, you kind of it's kind of levels to that. Meaning you could not be a playoff team and you could be putrid, or you could not be a playoff team and just still be competitive and stuff like that. So it's levels to it. So even though the expectation may change as far as the amount of games you win, the outcome will still be the same no matter what. So with this Knicks team, they're still kind of, right now they're playing 500 basketball. That's what their record basically says that they are. And there's still a question of whether the Knicks can make the playoffs or not. But even if it was worse, the Knicks still wouldn't make the playoffs anyway. So I think there's levels to your expectations, and the outcome can still remain the same.
All right. Prince?
If that makes sense.
I think so. I think it makes sense. Go ahead, Prince. You gotta unmute yourself. There you go.
What was the first question? I know the second question is about obviously the next game, but what was the first question against him?
Well, I was just getting your reaction to what Austin Rivers said.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought, I didn't answer the double question either. But anyway.
Now, go ahead, Prince.
What? Oh, okay. All right. No, so definitely much respect to Austin Rivers, man. I mean, it is true. I mean, again, I said again, if we can go 6-4, that was my optimistic view. But 5-5, I could definitely live with. But at this point, 5-6, I know we are playing, not so good ball over these last 3 games. But again, with what we have been faced with as far as the teams we played, and the fact that we are down, man. Again, I'm not ready to truly, set a fire on everything. But again, I do see issues in, certain places where I'm like, okay, I would like to see, like I said earlier, Tom Thibodeau step up and maybe call some calls for RJ, call some calls for Knox, or, RJ stop shooting so damn many threes, excuse my language, you know what I'm saying? And, whatever the case is. But, for what it is, you can't be too mad at what's going on, you know what I'm saying, in New York. We look better as a team. The guys are getting better. It's just, again, teams understand how to beat us. It's the NBA. It's a copycat league. People are going to pack the paint on us until we start knocking down shots and until we start, like you said, Sim, causing turnovers and pushing the pace and transition where we can get easier buckets. Until then, every time, like you said, after a made basket, teams are going to either press us and then come back into a 2-3, or they're just going to fall back into a 2-3 and wait on us to break and one possession and they going down running. So, with that going forward, I know we'll do better. I do respect Austin for that. And like I said, I'm glad he's around. I'm definitely glad he's here playing for us. And again, I know this team's going to get better. He's going to help us get better, and I hope he gets better. But yeah, so.
All right. Well, look, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule, right? And then I want to talk about Brooklyn. All right. So this week we play Brooklyn on the 13th. We play Cleveland on the 15th, and then we play Boston on the 17th. We've already dropped one game. All right. Before we get into and break down Brooklyn a little bit, I just want to know. I know Tony said he's not giving out any predictions. Any ideas where you see, just looking at the team we have right now, which one of these games can we pull out a win? Can we pull out a win against Cleveland and maybe snag one of Brooklyn and Boston? Can we snag one of those? We know Brooklyn is right now dysfunctional. Okay, the Knicks are not playing well, but I wouldn't say they're full of dysfunction. Besides their play on the basketball court is dysfunctional. Right, but like locker room stuff and those type of things, I haven't heard about anybody being dysfunctional. Okay, Divine, I'm gonna start with you, man. Just looking at that schedule for this week, can we nab a win?
Everything remain the same.
Can we nab a win?
Everything remain the same.
Everything remains the same.
I'm just gonna go 1-2, and it's gonna be a possible 0-3. Like I said, right now, man. We depleted, bro. Can't battle with no soldiers, man. And I just think that, the only I would like to see for the Brooklyn game is I think they should literally start Knox in that front line, because Jared Allen and KD 7 foot tall. They got to put Knox in that small forward to give us a height up there. Maybe he might not be the greatest defensive person, but he can at least keep his hand in front of LeVert and Joe Harris. At least that with that height. But I'll take that Brooklyn game. It's going to be a close because I think we play at home. Am I correct?
Brooklyn is it's at the Garden. No, it's home. It's at the Garden.
I think it's gonna be 1-2. I'll take the Cleveland game.
Okay, all right, Tony, what do you think, man? I know you don't want to give predictions, but given what we are right now and who we have, can we nab one of those games? We got to nab one.
I'm not gonna say what two.
Okay,
we could get two.
You think we can get two? All right, we got to nab one of those games, man. If not, then we're on a serious slide. We've lost 3. If we lose all 3, we're on a 6-game slide. It's tough to come back from. You know what I'm saying? You got to get at least.
Is anybody coming back?
I don't know.
Nobody's coming back.
Maybe Todd will be there by one of those games, maybe.
And maybe Bullock.
No, that's not gonna do it.
No. Yeah, maybe Bullock.
Because Burke gotta get reevaluated, and I haven't heard about Toppin even getting reevaluated, which should be soon.
Right. Those.
I don't think they get reevaluated
this week. I don't see any.
Next week.
Right. Maybe Bullock, and maybe we get Taj, but I don't see Burke or Frank or either one of those guys or Obi coming back this week. Pretty sure they'll be out this entire week. You know, Jarrell, what do you think, man?
You just said we just getting
Huh?
Taj and who
maybe
and
Taj, maybe Taj and Bullock. I mean, listen. Bullock not having Bullock hurt us tonight. It hurt us tonight not having Reggie Bullock out there.
It hurt us when we have him sometimes too. But 0-3. I hate to say it. I don't want to talk about the reasons why it's going to be. It's already pissing me off. But yeah, 0-3. Like even with Cleveland, the way our guards are playing,
But Sexton and Garland is out. I don't know if they're going to be back for the game.
Oh, they're not playing?
As of now, they hurt. As of this morning. I don't know if they're back tonight.
Oh, if they're not playing, I'm picking up the. If they're not playing, yeah.
Look at
you know what I'm saying? I switched it up quick. I ain't crazy. Like Cleveland ain't all that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if their guards aren't playing, then yeah. But yeah, Boston's going to be a problem, obviously. But it all depends on.
Tatum is out too.
If we can make shots, if RJ wakes up. That's it.
All right. Not what do you think, man? Where we going in these next 3 games?
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Where we going in these next 3 games, man?
Well, let's beat Brooklyn first, man. Let's get out of this losing streak. You know, I think we could beat Brooklyn. I don't care if Kyrie or Kevin Durant is playing. If I was Tibbs in the locker room, I'm telling my guys, let's get back. Let's start winning, and it starts in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? And we're not looking past Brooklyn for Cleveland. I'm not looking past Cleveland for Boston. But if we could beat Brooklyn, we definitely could beat Cleveland. And if we could beat Cleveland, then going against Boston, maybe we could give them a better competition if we're on a 2-game winning streak and get out of that with a 3-game winning streak. And I want to put anything past my Knicks. Like I said, I want them to win. So if we beat Brooklyn, then we probably could beat Cleveland. And going into that Boston game, if we're on a winning streak, yeah, we could beat Boston.
Okay. All right.
And Boston right now is dealing with COVID protocols.
Right.
So they may not even have a whole complete roster.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And I want to get to the whole COVID thing too after we finish talking about Brooklyn. Prince. Oh, did I skip you? My fault. Josh? I meant to come to Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
I mean, outside of the COVID thing and injuries, I think if, based on what we know now, the COVID thing aside, all three of those, well, not all three, but the Brooklyn and Boston, their rosters are way better than ours. And Brooklyn, even without Katie and Kyrie, I still think they got some shooters. Like the guards and wings that they have, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris, a lot of people don't talk about him. Shaman, shooter. They got shooters, you know what I mean? So I think Brooklyn to be dangerous with or without KD and Kyrie. So I don't think we're going to win that game. Cleveland, I think we still do have a good chance to win that game because all they have is Garland and Sexton, really good backcourt. But I think our guys are a little bit better than them in the total sense. And Boston, guard and wing lead, you got two-way wings, Tatum and Brown. And Brown
Tatum is out though.
But they still got Brown. Brown is no joke.
How long is Tatum out? How long is Tatum out?
10 to 14 days.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't expect us to beat Boston, and they're well coached too.
The same. I say 1 and 2. I think we can get the Cleveland game. I don't think we're going to beat Brooklyn. I don't think we're going to beat the Celtics.
Yeah,
we gotta hope players not playing.
Yeah, I mean, you got so basically. Who was it? Somebody in the chat said COVID-19 needs to be our 6th man. Prince, what do you think, man? Do you think what do you think we doing this week?
Man, shout out to COVID, the 6th man. Like, shout out. But all seriousness, I'm 60-40, man. 1-3. I mean 1-2. My bad. But I really feel like we could go 2-3 if we somehow pull it together against Brooklyn. I'm praying that we wake up. If RJ can have a good game, man, we might all just snap back into cohesiveness and everybody have a good game and we can just snap out of this funk. But again, if we shoot like this, it might be 0-3. I'm sorry, y'all. It might be 0-3 because again, we just at the guard position. It's just not good for us right now. We playing bad. So again, until our guards start playing better, we're gonna have to match guard play. And these next 3 matchups, the guards are too tough.
Now, there's no doubt about it, man. If we shoot like this, we're in trouble. We're definitely in trouble. I think we're probably going 1-2. I think we will beat Cleveland. I don't know if we're gonna get past Brooklyn. I don't think we're gonna beat Boston. I don't think we're gonna get past Brooklyn though. Even though Brooklyn is dealing with a lot of internal issues, or not really a lot, they're dealing with Kyrie. Right, so they got some dysfunctional things going on. I just don't think that right now we have, we're coming into the game. If we had played 3 tight games and lost those three tight games where we shot well, played well, then I'd say, you know what, maybe just because it's a rivalry, we're gonna come back and have one of those games. But looking at what we've done right now, we're kind of down on ourselves, I think. You know what I'm saying? And I think the players are disappointed in themselves, huh? What'd you say?
I said thanks for crushing my heart. Man. Thanks.
I mean, for real, seriously, I think that they're kind of down on themselves. I don't think they feel good about themselves right now as a team, and they feel like, they know what their struggles are. They know that they're not hitting shots. You know what I'm saying? And they know that teams, they can see the future too. They know that teams are going to continue to throw that zone at them, and I'm sure they're trying to figure out how the hell do we beat this zone. So like they're in their own head with it too, and until it's going to take one quarter where they demolish the zone for them to figure it out, for it to click for them, I think. One quarter where they're really moving the ball and it's hitting and they're getting good shots off of it and knocking those shots down, then I think they're going to figure out, oh, okay, this is how we do it. You know what I mean? And I don't know when that quarter is going to come. The only thing I can think of is the more teams play zone against them, the better they're going to get, hopefully, and being able to beat the zone. You know what I mean? That's it. Now, Brooklyn, I think they play decent defense. I don't know what they're gonna do if they're gonna decide, like everybody else, to play zone against the Knicks. I don't see why they wouldn't. If something is working, why wouldn't you copy it? You know what I mean? I'm not seeing us beat Brooklyn, but I'm gonna hold out hope. I don't see it. I think Brooklyn's probably going to get the game. I think the Knicks are going to come with better fight because it is a crosstown rival. And I'm pretty sure, there's guys that see each other and pass, and then they talk on this, that, and in the third. So there's going to be some, it's going to be, the Knicks are going to come out and play hard. I just don't think they're going to have enough to pull the game out. What was you about to say, Devon?
The Nets played no defense.
I think the Knicks' youth is showing. Like Kevin Knox was in his second year. I think RJ and quickly them is some young kids, and sometimes a young kid can't pull themselves out of their situation unless they get some guidance. That's why I'm glad Thomas Gibson coming here, because you know what? Them are some babies out there. And when a baby goes through a slump, they over pressing. I think they get over, man, I'm not doing good. They start thinking and I think quickly and RJ, 20 years old, 21 years old, and they starting to press. So I'm hoping that they get through that youth thing and say, okay, man, I got to go back in the gym or whatever, because RJ really pressing. And the kid is talented. That's the whole thing that's so bad, that he's a talented kid, but he's pressing because he's 20 years old. And now he not finding out how to get out of that problem. Maybe, I don't know if it's intellectual or he's not strong enough mentally to say, okay, I got to get myself out of this. I don't know if it's that, but I think that youth on our team is showing right now in this slump because we don't know how to stop the bleeding because they don't have experience. And I think that's playing a major part in the reason why we going the way we going because quickly he probably never shot like this at Kentucky. Now he in the pros shooting bad. He probably never been through this. So he probably trying to figure it out. Don't know which way his head's spinning. But I'm hoping, I like what Knox said, though. I'm optimistic that if you do beat Brooklyn, that could be the start of something. And even with the Boston game, though you might not have Tatum, if Julius Brown can give you, what's his name, Jaylen Brown numbers, if they just go, okay, he scored his 30 or 27, Julius scored his 27, I think Mitchell Robinson is way better than they front line. And if we can get some production from Knox, I think we got a chance to beat Boston because you don't have what's his name, Kemba Walker and Tatum, man. That's 40-something points right there. So I wouldn't doubt it if the Knicks could beat them. If Randall have a good game, I think we got a chance to beat Boston because of that reason.
But they're a well-coached team, so they're going to play that zone very well.
Exactly.
Right.
Do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, please smash that like button for me. Hit the like button. All right. And also, I want to remind you that, I have a new channel called the Ball Street Report. All right. And it's about, if you ever thought to yourself, they can make a stock market off of NBA players. Well, it's been done. It's called Prediction Strike. And if you go on Prediction Strike, you can invest in players' performance, just like you would invest in the stock market. It's pretty dope, right? So the Ball Street Report is a channel that focuses on investing in players. And we're going to talk about players' performance and have a lot of the same type of discussion that we're having now, but it's all going to relate to, is this player stock going up or is this player stock going down? Like, what do you think about RJ Barrett right now? You think his stock is going up? You think his stock is going down? Right? Well, you know what? I tell you what, I bought RJ Barrett at 58 cents. It went up to about 74 cents per share. I'm not exactly sure what it is right now. All right.
Probably like 16. Probably like 16.
Probably a nickel. Probably 16 cents.
I'm about to buy me something.
Right. Hey, I bought Kevin Knox at 8 cents. It went down to 7 cents. After tonight, he might be up to 9 cents a share. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you never know. You know what I'm saying? But it's pretty dope. PredictionStrike.com is pretty dope. You can go on there and invest in players. And the Ball Street Report, it's going to be a show that comes on every week, probably multiple times a week, where, we're going to break down different players throughout the NBA and what their worth is and should you invest in them or not. Like, for example, Kristaps Porzingis was 58 cents per share. Some of you guys may not like Kristaps Porzingis. Some of you do. You got to put your emotions aside. I invested in KP because he was 58 cents per share. So when he comes back, as soon as he steps on the floor, shares are going to go up. You get it? You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty dope,
Buy low,
man.
sell high. Yeah.
That's it, man. The Ball Street Report. And at the top of your YouTube chat, the link is pinned. You can go there, click on it, subscribe to the channel. All right. So, just, join me over there. It's gonna be dope and it's gonna be fun. See that? Mighty Nick said sell RJ. Come on, man. Chill out. RJ's gonna be all right. RJ's gonna be all right. All right. Also in that link you can find or in that message that's pinned to the top of the YouTube chat, you can find a link to the NBK app on Wix, where you can get notified if anything goes down. I've been having trouble with YouTube, so if anything goes down, I can notify you, where we're going to be at. You know what I mean? And the Ball Street Report is also playing as my backup. So, if anything goes down, then I'll be streaming on the Ball Street Report. So make sure you check out the Ball Street Report. It's going to be dope and it's going to be fun. There should be content coming out this week, man. So go ahead and check that out. And by the way, if you decide to invest anything in Prediction Strike, if you decide to put some money in there, it's basically fantasy sports, and if you put $20 in and you use the code NBK, you'll get $30. So, well, no, you'll get an extra $10. You won't get $30. You'll get an extra $10. So you'll have $30 in there. So if you put $20 in, you use the code NBK, then you'll have 30 instead of 20. They'll give you an extra $10 if you use that code. All right, so there you go. Anyway, PredictionStrike.com, the Ball Street Report. It's going to be dope. I do want to ask you guys about everything going on with COVID-19. Right? As we know, Boston, they've been going through some issues with COVID-19. There's been games being postponed. And, the professionals did let the league know that January was probably going to be around the time that you were going to have some trouble and have to postpone games and do some things like that. The league is meeting tomorrow, and on tomorrow they're going to discuss tighter protocols. Right? I think that one of the protocols should be that if your team has to miss a game due to COVID, you get a loss. You forfeit the game. You know what I mean? To me, if that happened, there's still going to be people who get it, right? Of course. But I think you'll see guys taking the extra caution, not to go out, not to sneak out the hotel, to go party here, to go party there, and really say, you know what, I'm just going to stay in my room and do the things that I got to do. I'll go to any approved restaurants, make sure I'm doing everything that I got to do to make sure that I don't catch it. What do y'all think about that?
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Jump in there.
I don't like the idea because it sets a dangerous precedent as far as what if this happens during the playoffs, in the playoff series? What if it happens during the NBA Finals and games have to get, taken away or canceled?
But
are they going to award the championship based off a default?
But isn't it the players that need to say, this is what I have to do? I mean, I'm thinking the playoffs may end up, if you get to that point, may end up being a bubble again.
Yep.
Right? They probably end up being in a bubble. But I think right now, I think you need something a little bit more strict instead of just postponing games. Because I still feel like players now are just like, they're just going to postpone the game. We could still go hit this club. We can still do this, have this get together, that get together. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not there, but, I know how I would have probably thought if I was 25 years old, hitting city to city. You know what I mean? I don't know. But they got to do something or else the season is going to end up getting canceled or postponed or put on hold or whatever it is. With the way it's going.
That's a good point. I wasn't thinking about the bubble.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the NBPA, the player union, and the owners need to get together now and kind of, set that standard, because I think it all goes back to the union. If they try one thing, the union gonna be like, well, we might not agree to this. So I think that our players association and the union need to get together. Because believe it or not, Knicks is one of the better teams that's handling COVID real well. They protocol is real nice. I'm talking about the Knicks. It's amazing. But, I think, because if you start fining players, taking money away, and they might, because I guess you can get COVID anyway. I mean, a coach can give you COVID, I guess. So it's tough. It is a tough situation to be in. But I listen what Austin Rivers, I agree with what Austin Rivers said. Mother needs to stop, part of my life, they need to stop acting kind of, I don't want to say ignorant, but to the truth. Man, put your mask on, man. Just wear your mask. That's all you got to wear your mask, man. That's all. That's about all you can do, really, until you get a vaccine in you. But wear your mask, like you said.
I wish they had a vaccine against injuries.
Is the NBA players right? Is the NBA players not wearing their mask, or are they going out and being exposed to people that's not wearing theirs?
See, I think it's them going out and being exposed to people. That's what I think. All right, I think that's most of the issue right there. They're going out, being exposed to people. I know. Listen, you're not gonna be able to just stay away from people all the time, but you can't do anything that's just reckless. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure there's some guys out there just doing stuff that's reckless. You know, I mean, I don't know if that's the answer or not, but I do feel like if you start saying, yeah, your team is going to, you know, if you can't play because you don't have enough players, because that's the reason why teams are not playing, because they don't have enough players, right? You're not playing because you don't have enough players, then you take the loss. You forfeit the game. You take the loss. And then, you know, so then either what's going to happen, teams will figure out a way to make sure that they got some players. They'll start calling people up from the G League, they'll whatever, because they don't want to just take the loss.
I was going to ask, why can't they just expand the rosters?
I think they were saying that the more players that you have, the more risk it is.
Right.
Right now, there's more people with more chances of being exposed.
But if they're not in the bubble, I don't see how that matters.
You're going to have to keep expanding.
I'm just saying to have 2 or 3 extra players. It don't seem like it's that much dangerous than having 15. Just have 18 instead of 15.
All of that goes into the CBA. That's all CBA stuff. So the union and the league got to work that out. That's all, like, you know, that's not just the NBA can just expand the rosters. They have to do that with the union.
But somebody asked that, and that was the reason that came up, that the NBA was concerned that the more players you have, the more risk of exposure and the more risk of spreading it.
Okay.
You know, they're glad the Knicks playing Terrytown practice facility now. Everybody hating on that.
Right.
I know they ain't hating now. They ain't got to be in the city with all that mess. We going to Terrytown. Y'all go ahead.
Right. Yep, because right now, the Mavericks have 4 people with COVID-19. So that game was postponed. There was another game that was Boston and Dallas game was postponed. I think there was another game postponed. Boston and Bulls supposed to play tomorrow. I think that game is postponed. I don't know. Something's gonna happen.
Boston and Knicks.
I'll take a postponement right now. I'll take that. I'll take a postponement right now. Let's get some guys healthy before we come back. I'll take that. Right. I don't know. What do you guys think, man? Do you think we're going to be able to the NBA is going to be able to get a handle on it, or is the season going to end up? Is it going to continue to spread and the season end up done?
They still haven't released the second half, right?
No, they haven't.
I have a feeling that they're working on some type of regional bubble where they can have, like, you know, 4 locations. And,
I agree.
And do something like that for the second half.
That would be. I think that would be smart. You know, the only thing is if you play in that regional bubble, so then you're only playing the teams that's in that bubble, or do you travel to each bubble?
I would think you travel to each bubble, but maybe like in the four teams at a time. So let's say you got 4 bubbles, and then 4 teams moving at a time. So 4 teams will go from this bubble to the other bubble, and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, that's the only thing I could think of to keep guys secluded. Especially because I haven't noticed, but didn't they say there would be more conference games and less, like, more division games, something of the sort this season? You're gonna play like the guy, so that right there will keep it. If you have the divisional bubble or something closer to that, you know what I mean? The guys you're playing more, get those games right out the way. Boom, boom, boom. Right. And then just get your travel games.
Yeah, so if you had regional bubbles, you figure that would be how many different regions? You know, four. If you have 4 regions, four regions, on any given night, you probably have 12 teams playing or something like that. That would probably work. You know,
but the thing is, a lot of the states are different and they have different COVID rules.
Right.
So you'd have to find the perfect state to put the bubble in. You know what I'm saying? And then with the travel and all that kind of stuff. And basically the way COVID is broken down, it is broken down by the state, but a lot of it is regional. So, for example, up in the Northeast, it's a little bit more liberal than as opposed to like down in the Southeast. You know what I'm saying? And in the South. So they still have to work through all that too. It's still a lot for them to work out. But I don't think that it'll get to the point where the season's going to get canceled. I think they're going to find any way to get their money. But basically, come playoff time, it will be a bubble situation, probably 2 of them, East and West. But during the regular season, I don't see them doing any type of bubble because it's just too hard for them to get all the semantics together with the state rules and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it would be trouble. It would be tough. I mean, what I'm thinking is that they would at least, because every team is playing in their home state right now, right?
Yes, except
for Toronto.
Except for Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
right? So every team is playing in their home state. Why wouldn't they be able to have the games at whatever stadium? Just pick 5 different stadiums, 6 different stadiums, and say this is where we're going to play the games. And then there's a couple of hotels that serve as the bubble. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that.
And so you just transport, and maybe what you do is instead of having so much travel between the bubbles, you have 3 bubbles, 10 teams at 10 teams at each bubble, right? And those 10 teams all play each other for 2-3 weeks, right? And then you have, and then 10 teams move to another bubble, 10 teams move to another bubble, and then they stay there for a couple of weeks, and then they move to another bubble, stay there for a couple of weeks or something like that, so that you're still getting a chance to play all of the players. I don't know. It's crazy, but
I do it north, south, east, and west. I would do north, south, east, and west. 8 each team. It's 32 teams in the league, 8 in each region. North, south, east, and west. 32 teams. 8 here, 8 there, 8 there, and then hopefully it's not like Josh said, it's not so much about politics, but I think once Joe Biden get in office, he will push that vaccine. He said that his mission is to get that vaccine out ASAP. So I think the vaccine gonna help to a degree. If you can get the guy to wear the mask, and then once they start distributing them vaccines, I think that plus we're in the baddest time of COVID-19 right now. When they said between December and January with the cold season, the flu season, it's gonna be crazy right now. But hopefully, by March, and the weather starts tampering, the vaccine is out here in full effect, we might be able to survive it. But it's gonna be pretty tough, though. It's gonna be pretty tough.
So Andre Bryant just said if the NBA develops another bubble, there's going to be more money lost. How will there be more money lost? Because there's not fans in the arenas.
No, he's talking about the cost it would take to maintain a bubble, because it's very expensive to maintain the bubble. With all the protocols, the doctors you got to hire, and the hotel expenses and all of that stuff.
They lost $1.5 billion last year. I know they ain't trying to do that 2 years in a row.
I mean, but they didn't lose I don't think they didn't lose $1.5 billion because of the bubble. The bubble helped.
I'm just saying COVID in general.
COVID in general, because the bubble helped them to generate more, to make up a little bit of ground.
Yeah, TV revenue.
But here's my thing though. All of these teams pay for these doctors anyway, don't they?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Right. You already pay for trainers and doctors.
The same way.
Yeah, you're getting tested. The only other thing I could see that you'd have to pay for is the hotel stay in the facility. Mm-hmm. They're already paying for everything else.
And when they travel, they staying in the hotels anyway.
Right.
So now you should be able to get a lump rate. You know what I mean? Instead of
right. Yeah. So that I don't see how. I don't know. I mean, I don't know all the figures and everything that goes behind it.
I just feel like if they were able to get it done in a safe manner so that the season wouldn't get canceled, they would have did it. But I just think it's the expenses is what they're worried about. But see, the expenses of maintaining a bubble.
I don't think the players want to do it.
I think the mental health was a reason too.
Yeah, the mental health is probably a big reason.
Yeah,
right? Because I don't see how. To me, the big reason to have the teams go back to their states. One, the mental health of the players, right? Not having the players just stuck up in one place. But then, 2, the chance that fans can come back to the stadium, and so then you can start to bring in revenue because the fans are coming back to the stadiums. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, just like if they were in a bubble, there's only a few stadiums, a few cities that are bringing in fans, 3,000 fans or whatever, and bringing in some revenue. Right now, everything is based off of people watching it on TV or watching it on League Pass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Revenue, yep.
Someone said the bubble costs $150 million. I mean, you got the teams that are paying. I just don't get it. You got the teams that are paying. What is it about that cost that the teams aren't already paying? What is the extra cost in the bubble that the teams aren't already paying? To travel, to stay in hotels, for food, for all of that stuff. What extra cost comes with bringing in a bubble?
I mean, I think they still would have to hire, if they don't have one already, a separate medical team from the team doctors that would advise the team doctors on the protocol.
Right.
But other than that, I don't see.
Well, see, it's going to be interesting. So, they're going to meet tomorrow and come up with some other protocols, some new protocols, some more strict protocols. And I guess we'll see what those protocols are. And how the
one of them is the restaurant list is going to be smaller. If it continues at all.
Yeah.
So, Sam, I'm reading the article. It says among the costs to the NBA are daily tests for COVID-19, treatment and quarantine associated with positive tests, meals, security, transportation, sanitation of facilities, including practice gyms, staging of games at multiple stadium sites. It's an article that came out prior to them doing the last bubble.
Prior to them doing the last one.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's I would just think that if you had a bubble in different regions, like say there wouldn't be a bubble in New York, but let's just say there was a bubble at Madison Square Garden, and then there was one in Cleveland, there was one in Miami, right? The cost that you would normally have to pay for your staff, to man your stadium, the cost that you would have for your electric bill, for all of that stuff would go to James Dolan. You would say, okay, how much is it going to cost you, James Dolan? Here's our part, something like that. But I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I don't want the season to end, though. That's the one thing. I don't want the season to end. I know the NBA doesn't, because even if they don't have fans, they still got this TV money and all of that kind of stuff. They don't want the season to end either. And neither do the players. So it's important for this, with everything that they did with the salary cap, to make sure that this season was able to take place. They can't afford for the season to end. They can't afford for it. So I guess they'll figure it out. They've always been a pretty innovative league, so I guess they'll figure it out.
Adam Silver, good job, people.
I really think the players just don't want to do it.
Oh, the players don't want to be in the bubble.
They're going to push back on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the bubble either. I ain't going to lie. I wouldn't want to be in that
separate from your family.
Yeah, months at a time.
And how many cases? Because it looked like to me that it's not a lot of COVID cases. It's just that somebody coming in contact with somebody and they have to go through that quarantine. Not that they got COVID.
Right.
It's just that because they came in contact with somebody, they have to quarantine for 7 days. Because it's not a lot of COVID cases. It's a lot of these cats because they came in touch with somebody. They're not sure until your test come back. So now they have to stay out for 7 days until they get their results back. And that's what I'm hoping that is like. I don't think it was like 4 or 5 or 6 plays out of 500. Some they said, I don't know what the number was that was early in the month. But we don't have a lot of guys testing positive for COVID. It's that they come in contact with somebody who had it and they got to sit out 7 days.
They got to sit out.
And then they got the wrist now. They can do the contact tracing by the, I think it's a wristband that they're wearing. Mm-hmm. And so if you've been in contact with somebody for 15 minutes, that's it. Somebody who's positive or who was in contact with somebody else for 15 minutes, you have to go into the protocol. So I think having that risk monitoring is going to be more people now.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can stay in the arena. It'd be anyway. Make them stay in the arena.
Right.
You ain't going nowhere, bro. You incarcerated.
Man, it's crazy time, man. It's a crazy time. But hey, I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm looking at possibly doing something tomorrow. I don't know. I gotta see. You know, I had some ideas of a show that I was thinking about. You know, called the Shoot Around. You know, where we kind of come down off of the emotion of the game and then talk about it the next day when we're a little bit more rational. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I might do something tomorrow morning. I'm probably going to do Knicks Weekly. I didn't really get a chance to do Knicks Weekly this week, so I'll probably do Knicks Weekly sometime tomorrow. I'm trying to get Josh and Tony. We need, with flagrant foul with Josh and Tony. We ready for it. What's up?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
We're going to try to...
I got my fedora ready.
Yo, flagrant foul with Josh and Tony. We're going to get that thing on this week, ladies and gentlemen. This week.
Let's go.
Flagrant foul with Josh and Tony. That's going to be a fun one. So be ready for it. Look for that notification.
But how you gonna ref it? How you gonna ref it?
Oh, we got it all. We got it all mapped out. We got a plan. We got a plan for it. We got a plan for it. It's a good thing that it's virtual because we don't want fists to be thrown or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing that it's virtual. It's a good thing it's virtual, but it's gonna be dope, man. Salute to everybody that's here in the chat on every place: Facebook, Twitch, Sportscaster, Twitter. Shout out to everybody that's here. I do want to remind you, like I said, check out the Ball Street Report at the top of the YouTube chat. There's a couple of links up there that you can jump into. The Ball Street Report. Click on that link. Subscribe to the channel, and that channel is going to be about NBA basketball. Just talking NBA basketball, not just NBA basketball, but how you can invest in a player's performance using PredictionStrike.com. There's a link to PredictionStrike.com. And if you decide that you want to invest $20 in a player, use the code NBK and you'll get $10 extra. Use that code NBK, you'll get $10 extra. PredictionStrike.com. Learn how to invest in players. It's fun. It's fun new way of doing fantasy sports. And get the NBK app on Wix. There's also a link up there. So, when I'm out of here, make sure you click on those links. I'll keep the stream up for a little bit so you can come back and get the links that you need and check it out.
What the chat numbers look like tonight?
We were good. I don't exactly know how many, but
okay,
we were good. Of course, anytime that the Knicks lose, people be like, I don't want to hit nothing. They go to sleep or do whatever they got to do. The Knicks win. It's out, it's off the chain.
They're showing a lot of love right now. They welcome you back because I'm glad you're back. Welcome back on the tube, brother.
Man. Glad to be back.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the chat. All the thumbs up, brothers out there. Hit them up. I hit the thumbs up for the brother. He's back in the set.
We back and we got a lot of content coming towards you, man. A lot of content. Man, I just told you about the Ball Street Report. We got flagrant foul with Josh and Tony, and hopefully we're gonna do the shoot around tomorrow morning. So, we back in the building. Just stay with it, ladies and gentlemen. Any last words you guys want to get in before we get out of here? I'll go around. I'm going to start with Devon.
Hopefully we can get this Brooklyn thing, man. Hopefully we can bounce back from the night. And, hey, Nick Nation, stay positive. I guarantee you when them boys get back, we get healthy. And we'll be all right, man. For now, I know we took 3 losses, but we also could pull out 3 wins, so we're not lying. So we just got to stay positive. Hopefully we can go into Brooklyn and play hard, like you said, and hope for the best and take it from there. But I think we're gonna be fine once them injuries get healed. We heal from injuries. I think Nick's still gonna be fine. I'm still optimistic. Like I hyped as I was in the last 4 or 5 games. I'm still hyped now. I don't have the energy because we're losing. But I still feel the same way. We still gonna do what we gotta do. Is that we gotta get them guys healthy, man. The health is the key. And if healthy, I think we'd be fine.
All right. Tony?
Knox gets to go home and get some rest and get a nice nap or whatever. The rest of the team should be out on the court shooting shots.
Right.
You know how they go shoot the shots after the game and then they come back and have a good performance. So yeah, I want the whole team shooting and Knox could get some rest. But that's all I gotta say. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the panel. Yo, Blackest Time. Sam, keep doing your thing, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Jarrell?
We can't shoot. RJ better not be more than 27 cents when I go on that site. Be hot. Yeah, man, y'all see the game. Like, we can't shoot. I think that's our only problem. Really. We can't shoot and we gotta get healthy. That's it. Yeah. We got Brooklyn. We gotta beat Brooklyn, man. I don't care if you tackle Karis LeVert mid-court, man. We gotta beat Brooklyn, man. That's all I care about right now.
I hear you, man.
You want Peyton to do one of them fouls that he did?
Man, just a little, you know what I'm saying? A little hip check. That's all. Little hip check. That's all. But other than that, man, you know, we can't shoot. That's it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ghost Rider, man. He said, why is it when you start to like the team, they start the team, they turn from Knicks to bricks? I don't know, man. I don't know.
We the Knicks. It's like that every year.
I don't know, man.
It's like that every year.
Yeah, and then Danny, thank you for the super chat. He said, check out what Clyde said about Peyton. He's speaking facts. I'm not exactly sure what he said. He said Clyde is fed up with the non-shooters. I mean, listen, we've already known that about Peyton, but
yeah,
he shot 50% tonight.
Shooting better than RJ.
For the year.
He's the fifth.
Not just today.
I mean, he has one of the highest shooting percentages on the team. So I don't know. You know, I mean, I get what people are saying, but he still does. Is it going to stay that way? Probably not. But he does, and that's a sad thing to say about our team. When Elfrid Payton, you know, is one of the guys that you say we need you to score the basketball, that's a bad thing to say about our team, man, because he has one of the highest shooting percentages on our team.
And that's very funny because Knox is the leading scorer of tonight's game, even though we lost, yeah?
Yeah. Knox was the leading scorer tonight. He was the leading scorer tonight. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully though, because I want to see Knox. If Reggie Bullock is going to be out against Brooklyn,
exactly.
I want to see Knox in that starting lineup.
Josh, so you think he's going to take that starting role?
I've been saying this since day one.
He needs that.
I've been being consistent with this point, and you know, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but RJ Barrett don't need to be playing on 38 minutes a game. He is not worth 38 minutes a game. I don't care what he does rebounding and with the assists. 38 minutes, leading the NBA in minutes. No.
Yeah, but RJ Barrett is playing the 2 guard. I'm talking about small forward.
RJ Barrett is playing the 3. RJ Barrett is playing the 3, and Bullock.
Oh, and then Bullock is playing the 2.
Right.
In my mind, I'm thinking less of Bullock's minutes or just, you know what I'm saying, RJ and Knox on the floor together.
Hey, Dad, do me a favor. Can you adjust your camera a little bit? Because we can only see your beard.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. See what I'm saying?
I was just on with Grandma. They was going crazy over there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We trying to see the whole fit in the joint, you know what I mean? But,
yo, MBK, Uncle Sim is back. MBK forever.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
They try to shove my...
Nah, we good. We good, bro. We in here. We good. Hey, Prince, some last words, man.
Yo, Sim is back.
I'm super geek, man. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to panel. Like I said, we out here thick, tonight. Definitely looking for a bounce back game. Happy with my baby boy Knox performance tonight, but I want more. You know what I'm saying? I definitely can. He definitely got a lot more to give us. But again, that shooting came through tonight. He was confident. He played pretty decent defense. But again, we got to play team basketball. So everybody else got to bring it. Against Brooklyn, it's not going to be an easy game. We know we're going to have to play. So I just look forward to seeing what type of fight we come back with, because lately, when the shots ain't been falling, our heads get to dropping. So hopefully we have the anger and, the fight and the resiliency that we've seen in those first couple games to come back and pull out a win, because we need it, man. And I don't know what's going to get us back on track, but it's going to take a W. And again, it's going to take us earning it. So again, hopefully we can earn it by Wednesday, and everybody come to play, man. Guys got knocked down shots.
So Uncle Prince, you think Kevin Knox going to dunk on Kevin Durant?
I don't know about all that. He definitely might shoot a tray in his face.
I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? But
hey, and see why you playing right there.
Same size. I don't know.
I'm upset because he had a fast break opportunity. He should have dunked on Devontae Graham. Ain't no way in heck you put up no layup. You should have stretched out. You 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". You should have been all of, you know what I'm saying? You should have been 13, 14 feet in the air. Like, there's no way you should have tried to lay the ball up on Devontae Graham.
Yeah, he should have been sitting with him.
know, those are little things that we're going to see. Hopefully Knox's game and his athleticism gets better because I think it's just more his just confidence in his movement and the way he just, attacks with the basketball, because we see he's finishing this year, which he wasn't doing last year. So now once we start seeing him finish above the rim, we'll start seeing a lot more.
All right, sorry. Uncle Prince, Uncle P, I'm sorry, Uncle Sim, I'm late on the show. I was on Grandma's show. They was there for like 30 hours. They going crazy over there. They battling, right? They had Josh and some other guy battling. I don't know. I said, I got to come to Sim show before he finished.
Yeah, it's all good. Steph, any last words?
Sorry, Steph. Mommy, God bless you. Love you. Thank you.
Love you too. Shout out to you, Sim, the chat, the panel. Listen, overall, I think the Knicks are back. The last 2-3 years, it's been a lot of foolery. We getting the culture back. We developing our players. We need to make a trade. I don't know who, how, or what. Well, we need somebody else on this team. I think we're gonna go 1-3. We got to shoot better. We got to learn how to execute against the zone. And for the first time in a long time, when we do trade for somebody, similar to Miami, we're going to have to get a tip type of player. It can't just be any old body now. We got somewhat of a culture now. There's only certain players that's going to fit.
Sorry. Oh, mommy, what do you think about that, Ma? Zach LaVine.
Yes.
Knox,
I hit 80 thumbs up for that.
I'm okay with that.
Not, let me get to you, Not.
Well, Austin Rivers said to all Knicks fans to relax and breathe because, we 5-6 and we weren't expected to be here at this record, man. But I don't want no more notes from Rivers telling us to relax, man. I want some winning. I want some winning, man. You know what I mean? Because the next note he might be saying is, ship me out of this town, man. Let's get back to winning, man. That's what I want to say. Shout out to the panel. Right. Shout out to the whole Knicks fan, man, MBK.
No doubt. And Chop, I'm going to give you the last word, man. Give you the last
before we get out of here, brother. MBK forever. Hey, y'all. All y'all haters.
Go ahead, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead,
no
bro.
Sim is back and BK forever. You heard that? Yeah. Oh, I had to.
No doubt.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, look tomorrow morning for a notification for the shoot around. All right. We're going to go, be half an hour, 35-minute show, just talking NBA, rehashing what went on with the New York Knicks. Shoot around, ladies and gentlemen. And check out those links. The Ball Street Report. Told you we got a lot going on. We jumping into 2021 right, ladies and gentlemen, with a lot happening. So stay here, be on board. Check out the app, everything. It's all in that link. It's all in the message that's pinned to the YouTube chat. All right, and then all the other platforms that are on here, I'm gonna make sure I put the link in there before I get out of there as well. All right, make sure you're checking out Beat. That beat is by Evergreen, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Evergreen in the building. We out of here. As usual, ladies and gentlemen, spread love. I'm out.